We're thinking of Jesus in Jerusalem for the week leading up to Good Friday and Easter. Yesterday, we thought back to the time when Jesus taught the Sermon on the Mount. Today, we could look back to something he did some 3 years before his arrival in Jerusalem. He was at a house in Capernaum. There were crowds of people who wanted to see him and hear him. They came inside. The house became full of people, and many were crowding around the house outside. They were all eager to hear what he had to say. But there were some religious leaders there who were checking up on him, listening to him carefully just to find fault with what he was teaching. Now, outside there was a man who was paralyzed. Because he couldn't walk, his friends carried him on a stretcher. They wanted to bring him to Jesus, hoping that Jesus would heal him. But when they saw the crowds, they couldn't even get near the door. How could they get their friend, the paralyzed man, near to Jesus? They solved it. They came up with a plan. This house in Capernaum had a flat roof with steps leading up. Meanwhile, back inside the house, Jesus was teaching the people crowded inside. Suddenly, something fell from the roof. Everyone looked up and saw a hole appearing in the roof. As they looked, it grew bigger. They could see hands pulling pieces away. They could see the sky. Then something was coming down through the hole in the roof. The friends of the paralyzed man had carried him on his stretcher up the steps. They had made a hole in the roof, and now they were using ropes to lower him down. They lowered him right down to the ground in front of Jesus. Jesus looked at him. Everyone was amazed. What would Jesus say to him? What he did say shocked some of them. He said, "Your sins are forgiven." The religious leaders there in the house were angry. "Who does he think he is?" they muttered. "Only God can forgive sin." Jesus knew what they were saying. He turned to the man and said, "To show you I have authority to forgive sin, I say to you, get up, pick up your stretcher, and go home." The man who had been paralyzed got up and walked. Now, I like to think the man's friends up on the roof were so thrilled that they jumped down the steps, met him outside, and danced down the road together. The Bible doesn't tell us that, but it does tell us about this amazing miracle and about Jesus forgiving sin. In a prayer, Jesus taught us to pray, "Father, forgive our sin." We'll think more about this as we get closer to Easter. Now here's a song.
He took 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, 4.